All right, what's going on, app developers or marketers? If you have a mobile app that you're trying to market on TikTok, I'm going to show you how you can set it up on the TikTok Ads Manager dashboard and go from step one, which is just starting the campaign, all the way to the end, where it's creating and adding a visual or a creative so that you can see the process from start to finish on how you set up and actually create a campaign, your ad group, and your ad creative. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let's get straight into it. All right, so right now we're at the main page for TikTok Ads Manager dashboard. So you have your campaign set up, your ad group set up, and your ad, which is your creative. Now, what you have to remember when you're doing ad campaigns or mobile app install campaigns, you can only have 2 ad groups per campaign. It's not like drop shipping or traffic, web conversions, purchases, where those campaigns you can have multiple ad groups inside of one campaign. So to help you understand, each campaign is like your main subset, your main category. Campaign number 1. Inside of that campaign, you can have 2 ad groups. That means you can split it out by different interests, different videos, and I'll explain like the difference. But essentially, you can have 2 different ad groups per one campaign. And inside of those ad groups, you can have multiple videos, but they will be split out through the one ad group, if that makes sense. So you have one campaign, 2 ad groups per campaign, and then you can have multiple videos inside of each ad group. So the way that you set it up can be based on different strategies, but I'll share mine and how I go about creating campaigns. Now, inside of this, you want to click Advanced. Between Basic and Advanced, you'll see that if you click Basic, you won't have options of app promotions or app install, so you have to click Advanced. And now you'll see conversion types. You'll see app promotion, lead generation, web conversions, product sales, etc. Your main goal here is app promotions, and then you can do app retargeting. If you are a beginner, you probably don't have the ability to do app retargeting because you don't have data that allows you to do so. So once you fill enough data, then you can do app retargeting. We're just doing app installs. So we'll click app install, and then we'll come down to campaign name. Now, the campaign name is decently important, especially when you start using your mobile measurement partner, so you can identify what campaigns are working and what is not. For me, I like to do app install, creative testing, which is what I'm doing now. So it'll be the name of the conversion or the promotion type. Then I'll do what type of testing I'm doing. Maybe it's creative testing, maybe it's retargeting, maybe it's a specific type of lookalike. Whatever I'm doing, I'll say and define what type of action or strategy I'm using immediately after. So this one is creative testing, essentially. And then next would be no interest, which is the interest of the campaign. So if I'm using no interest, I'll say no interest if I'm using a specific type. So that can be based on me finding or selecting a specific audience. I'll put it here, and then I'll say number 1. So that just helps me identify it a little bit better. It's like, this is creative testing, no interest, number 1. And now I'll explain a little bit further. So I'm not doing any create split test in this moment. I'm just simply focusing on one video, and I'll explain some of the things later that go along with this. No campaign budget optimization, and no, I don't want to set the campaign budget. I'll do that inside of the ad group level. Now, one thing that I did skip, and I did this for a reason. If you are running ads for Play Store or Android devices, you will not leave, or you will not select this iOS dedicated campaign. You'll click continue, and you'll have an option to click and find your application that you created in your app events selected in the next page. Now, if it is for iOS 14 dedicated campaigns or anything above iOS 14, you need to click use iOS 14 dedicated campaigns. This will allow you, and you will immediately see whatever app you selected in your app events for iOS dedicated 14, which is why you need to use your mobile measurement partner. So I'll collect the app that I have selected, and then we will continue to go down. So now, after we've created our campaign, we're at the ad group level. Now, with the ad group level, I'm going to need to remove my camera for a second so you can see the full page. Now, at the ad group level, first we come to naming convention. So we'll start with US, Canada, or you can just do US. We'll say no interest again, which is the type of interest that we're focusing on, which is just broad targeting essentially. And then you'll say creative, right? Now we're focusing on the creative number 1. Now the reason we're saying creative number 1 is because what I like to do for my testing strategies for app install specifically, I like to give a ad creative, or the ad itself, completely to one ad group. So it'll have the full $20 budget. So this will be creative number 1 inside of, this will be one ad, and it'll be creative number 1 And you can title, I don't say what the video is about until we talk about the ad itself, and then you can specify what the ad is. So when you get in your mobile measurement partner, you can have a better understanding of how to visualize and perceive what ads are performing better. So creative number one, which is this here. Now, for me, you want to do select placement. I remove TikTok, you want to do select placement, so manually choose your targeting placement because TikTok has multiple platforms. Global app bundle, no, and then also Pangle as well. So deselect both of these. You just want your ads to be run solely on TikTok. Now, it depends depending on your product, and if you choose to. I don't do user commenting. I turn off. Allow video download, I turn off as well, and then you want to keep selected video sharing. These two can be negative depending on, because it's an app, it's okay if you allow video download because people can't chop up your app and try to make it look like it's their app. But when you have certain product videos, allowing video download can be negative. User commenting, it just keeps it allows for a neutral positioning on your video. So like, let's say there's a lot of negativity, it's not necessarily beneficial, and it can bring a negative image towards your brand or your application. So now we're going into saved audiences. You can skip this because this is centered around like retargeting and things like that. There's no reason for you to even focus on this right now, just because it's like the initial setup. You can say United States, and if you choose to, you can select Canada as well. That is your preference. For me, I choose United States only. Sometimes I will do Canada, but because we selected US Canada for our title, we'll say United States Canada for our location. Now, gender, if you have a gender specific application, you can focus on a specific gender. My application is not gender specific, so I can do male or female, so I'm just going to keep all selected. Your age range, it's more of a understand your product, right? Does your product is it focused on certain demographics? If so, you like to keep those demographics selected. For me, I like to keep them all the way open. Sometimes I'll do 18 through 55 and exclude 13 through 17, or I'll just keep it all because TikTok has a very strong algorithm that allows their platform and their ads to be narrow focused on the best demographic for your product. Languages, I keep it all. They will put it in front of audiences that is best for you, but I keep it on all as well. But you can definitely select English and hyper focus your target demographic for those who only speak English. Spending power, housing income, these are things that will allow you to focus on a certain type of audience, but in this case, just keep it at all. Household income, all. Audiences where if you were not doing no interest, you could focus on certain types of people. So if you did want to focus on a certain type of demographic, let's say it's someone that is interested in games, right? You could say, you could just highlight games as a whole, which will give you a 79 million to 97 million available audience, right? For me, I just keep the audience broad, and that keeps you at up to close to 110 million of available audience. Now, TikTok will, again, put your ad in front of the best audience and demographic possible for what you're offering, but just keep it broad so that they can have and collect the most data. For devices, because it's an app install, you want to do iOS 14.0 and above all the way up to iOS 17.3. There's no reason to deselect or focus on a specific iOS version. Just keep it open. Same thing for device models. Connection type, keep it on all. Carriers, all. Internet service provider, all, especially because you want to focus on getting and maximizing the most app installs possible. Same thing for device price. You can just skip all of this. Now, because this is a low budget strategy, you want to just go ahead and go to $20 per day, which is the lowest, $25 per day, which is the lowest you can spend on TikTok. I could have sworn it was 20 at one point, but if, 20. So for budget, you want to change this number to $20. Originally, that may start you off at 30 or 35, but you want to switch it to 20. That is the lowest amount you can spend on an ad group per day at a daily budget. So if you had a plan of saying, hey, for this lifetime, you wanted to spend for a week, I want to spend $1,000. You can say from start date to end date, spend $1,000, and they'll try to maximize and find when the best time to spend your money based on your demographic and their algorithm to say, put the most amount of money out during this period of time. But for me, daily, a $20 limit works the best. For me, I prefer to set my ads up where they start the next day. So if If I wanted to run ads or setting everything up today, I start it tomorrow, which would be Sunday. Now, so what you want to do is click June 16th, and you want to change the time to the top of the hour. Starting fresh at the beginning of the day, so that from that point in time, it'll have a full day of spending from when you start your selected date. Now, your optimization goal is to install. That is what we're here for, in-app events. You can do that. You can do click as well. For this app install event, you want to optimize for app installs. So now you can go to the next piece. Now we finished the actual campaign setup for the most part. Now you want to identify and bring in your ads. Now, for a creative name for ads, it's really not that important. You can set these up in a way that makes it easy for you to identify what the video is about, maybe. So like, for instance, if I created an ad that was, okay, so for ad name, it's not that important, but for me, I like to specify how I define my ad name. So for me, to give you an example, I would say a UGC showcase, right? So this is a user-generated content, someone basically almost giving a review of the app, and they're doing a showcase showing what the app is about, its functionality. I would say UGC showcase, and if I had multiple, I would say number one, or I would describe the person in the video within the ad name. Identity, you can use Spark Ads. Spark Ads allow you to essentially create videos identified as someone else. So instead of the name of the profile that you have, you can say, hey, I'm Kevin Hart, or hey, this is The Rock, this is XYZ person, so you can identify it. It gives you custom identity. For me, with my videos and my ads, I prefer for it to be the brand itself because it builds more brand awareness. In this case, for ad format, we want to do a single ad. You want to upload, and then you want to drop files into this section. Now, I will quickly just show you a ad that will drag in. Hopefully, it's not too long. You'll upload a video. I'll say, maintain your Spanish, right? I know I haven't uploaded this one. Ready to upload. You'll click upload the video. And now that it is uploaded, you'll see uploaded creative number 1. Okay. Now, what you'll learn through TikTok ads is that the text or the title of the video is not nearly as important as it is in other platforms, because the creative itself, the first 2 seconds, 3 seconds of the video is the most important. How you can engage and maintain and capture someone's attention. That is the most important piece. And does it disrupt flow? So we can simply say like maintain or learn Spanish fast, whatever it may be, because the app that I built was a language learning app. So you can say learn Spanish fast or learn Spanish now. Make it quick, make it sweet, make it to the point. And you might, if you want, you can also add emojis, but I would say make your point of the title very quick and easy to read, nothing too long, because that's not the most important piece. It's almost not important at all. Your call to action, I will erase all of these and keep it simple with why they're actually there or why you want them. It's install now. Now with destination, you will have created if you haven't created one already, you will need to create a app profile so that you can actually, it essentially gives your app destination gives your mobile app application a landing page inside of TikTok as well, so that you can get clicks to go to your landing page, which would be your Play Store landing page or your App Store landing page. And you just click confirm. If you haven't created one, you need to create one. It's pretty straightforward. You'll just put in the information. It'll take 2 seconds. You'll click confirm, and now you have a app profile. After you have your app profile, everything is set up. Now, if you are on Windows, meaning you're creating for the Play Store or Android devices, there's no need to fill in this impression tracking URL or click tracking URL unless you want to load that data into your mobile measurement partner. Otherwise, if you are inside of your third-party provider, your MMP for iTunes, if you are using it for Apple devices, then you will already have this loaded because of your mobile measurement partner. And for the most part, you're done. You can click submit, and your app campaign will be set up to be reviewed. Now, what you'll see is that your app campaign, no interest number 1 that we just created, although there are 2 that exist, this is the one that we just created, which is why the status is active. If you go to the ad groups in campaign number 1, you will see that this is the one that we created, and it is scheduled for June 16th, but you will see not delivering because it's in review. At this point, wait a few hours. I've gotten mine approved very quickly, and sometimes it's taken up to a day. Basically, just want to wait until you see that this is approved. So to give you an example, if I go to one of the others, it will say campaign inactive, but it would have a campaign active if I were to activate the campaign level. So I hope this video was useful. If you have any questions about app install campaigns and how to set up and have strategies behind, I have other videos set up and I'll link them in the description. So that's how you set up an app install campaign on the TikTok platform. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, or you can reach out to me either via Instagram or LinkedIn. So I hope you all enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.